What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. We're back talking about the one and the only Jaguar Wright. A lot of times I was going to wait till everybody get what they got to say, but y'all was so interesting. Essentially, y'all head over to YouTube. Y'all was so interesting to see what I had to say about Jag. Almost about 5,000 of y'all like me to talk about Jaguar Wright. God bless you. Okay. Y'all had came through, y'all had watched the Jaguar Wright content, and y'all have seen it about it, and I want to say thank you so very much for tuning in. It's so many of y'all that have came through, and I said, hey, y'all want to watch it. So I was like, okay, cool, go, come on. But y'all know yesterday that it was announced that she was arrested yesterday, and everybody was in an uproar. People were saying, but what was she arrested for, Wiley? Then we checked that she was arrested for stealing a truck, stealing a U-Haul truck. So everybody was talking about it. It was going viral across these YouTube streets. Everybody has something to say. But my point is this with Jaguar Wright. Now she got it right. And let me tell you this, because now she had people that is now seeing the financial benefit of her being out of jail to bail her out to get her to do regular stuff. So I understand it and I get it. The problem that folks need to understand with Jag is that you must have bail money set to get her bailed out. Now, there will come a time where she's going to commit a crime and there will be no bail. She have shown evidence that she have a very unhinged type of behavior. So there will come a time where Jaguar Wright will commit some type of vicious crime, and when it happened, she will not have bail. But today is not that day. But I am excited that she do have people in her corner that is bailing her out. I feel like that is one of the most incredible things, because if you're going to interview a person like her, the only thing you have to do is bail her out. I really believe that. Now, when we get on these shows and we have these conversations about, Jag, and people were saying that they don't feel sorry for her. One person said, why would I feel sorry for Jag when Jag gets on these platforms and she lie about celebrities? So I don't feel bad about her at all. The reason why I feel bad for Jag is because she do have a mental illness. The point is, if you get a U-Haul truck, when you got your mind, oh girl, I got to return the U-Haul truck. Now, this is great because this is in Dallas County. Now, if she would have went to any other county, that would have been crazy. Okay? If she'd have went to any other county, it would have been real crazy. And that's just me trying to keep it real. Because if she'd have went to Terry County, she probably would have not gotten out of jail. Let's be real on that. But let's also say this, because a fact of the matter is Jaguar Wright is an amazing singer. I don't know, like Tasha, I don't know if people get into her music or listen to her music, but I had to take a time out to listen to some of Jag's stuff. I'm a fan. I am literally a fan of her music. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a fan of her music, because I am literally a fan of her music. I feel like she makes incredible music. Life decisions? No, she don't make incredible life decisions. She sit there and she goes and she gets into these crises and she do all this crazy stuff. But when it comes to her Singing voice, incredible. Me personally, I would love to see her write a book, you know, be in somebody's, you know, stage, talking, having a conversation about the industry, about what happened about Diddy and all of that. I would love for her to do like a little TED talk or something, because again, I like to hear her voice. I'm tired of her talking about Diddy because there's nothing new that she can say. I mean, everybody's saying that he needs to go to prison, he needs to go to prison, he needs to go to prison, he needs to go to prison. And we don't know if this man will go to prison or not. But I'm going to keep an update on it if he go or if he don't go. But one point I can say that helped boost Jag up into today's society, because everybody kept saying that, you know, Jaguar Wright is telling the truth. So that helped her boost her up back into the algorithm. But when you listen, she was not there physically. She got a lot of third-hand information. None of the stuff she have witnessed with her own two eyeballs. She wasn't in the room when Cassie was getting hit across the washer and the dryer. She wasn't in the room where Kim Porter was getting deleted. She was not there. Every piece of information have all happened on a third or fourth. It is nothing like one, you know, this is direct what she's saying. No, she getting that from other people. They said Jag should be booked and busy with a voice like hers. Absolutely. And it's just so sad because I want to see more of Jaguar Wright. I want to see more of her spiritually. I want to see more of her. I don't want any harm to happen to Jaguar Wright. But the behavior that she has presented to herself, and when people do bail her out, she's emboldened to do it. It's just like having a person in your house, right? And you know Big Mama. So Big Mama bail out Pookie. Then Pookie keep going. Now this time Pookie got something serious on his record. Maybe like a gun charge or a drug charge. And now Big Mama put her house up for bail. And you know, put her house up for bail. And then Pookie, he jump bail, and then Big Mama lose her house. We have seen many people when they in bold behavior and we put it on there, and then if we have somebody in the family that say, hey, I got a business idea, can you invest in my business? We really want to do it, but we rush to get people bailed out of jail. They said I just watched her recent interview with the Blue Couch. It was pretty good. Absolutely, it really was. It would be great for her to do jazz clubs a few nights a week. I would love to see that too, because she's an amazing. Thank you, a nice jazz artist like her being in Vegas. I would love to see her do like a nightly, you know, show on the Strip, you know, because she's talented. But there's a problem with Jag, because Jaguar Wright mentally is not there. And I did a video yesterday and I said, hey, Armon should bail her out. And he's like, it ain't my responsibility. But Real Life Production, that man said, listen, we go bail Jaguar Wright out. And they bailed her out and got her out. And so we'll see it. But we don't know what is her conditions of the bond. I don't know what she can do, what she cannot do. I'm not that deep into it, but I'm happy that she is out. I just pray that she don't go back in. Now, she do have a trial. I believe they said she do have a case where she are going to go for that other thing that happened with the police department and stuff like that. And I don't want her to get no prison time because nobody was harmed. She was just cussing. She was yelling and all of that. But we want to see more of Jaguar Wright. I want to see more of her, you know, doing something positive. Every time it's coming up, either A, she's dragging a celebrity, or B, she's arrested. But I want to see something positive with Jag. They said, because again, when I watch her interviews on the Blue Couch and all that, it was entertaining. I don't watch all of it. I've been very addicted to watching like Ray J interviews to get into his interviews and stuff like that, because I try to get my mind off of like this whole situation with Jag. But when I watch the Jaguar Wright interview when she was dragging Jill Scott, I gagged. I laughed. It was funny. I was like, oh my gosh, no, she didn't. Like, this is crazy. She need help. There's too many people are making money off of her and not really helping her. Yeah, and they're making a lot of money on her. And then let's be clear, no one came up with 10 grand. So if your bail is 10,000, you may have to pay 1,000, and then you can even do you could even do a payment plan. They said Armon Wiggins seeing your video saying he needs help. Yeah, of course. These people be watching Wiley videos, and that's how it be, child. They be watching, and then they be acting like they don't want to give us credit, and they don't want to give us credit. Who cares? That's what they do. But yeah, but we here. They're responding. But when Jaguar Wright is not on your platform, you don't get the viewership. Like, everybody is battling to get Jag on their platform to have the conversation. Yeah, these people be watching. I'm telling you, like, these folks, they sit here and they be watching, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not gonna throw shade. I'm not gonna stop, because we gotta do. As money of other people have made off her, she should have had at least $10,000 of her own by now. Yeah, and that comes from like multiple accounts where she should be having money on there. Because let's be clear, she had went on everybody's platform and they making buku type of money. Okay. Absolutely, they've been making buku type of money off her. Like, she shouldn't be broke. She should have a hairstylist. She should have this. She should have that. But it's about, like, and it's very, very sad. People don't care. They use Jag, and Jag allow herself to be used. They said as much money of people made of her, she should have $10,000 of her own. Absolutely, absolutely. When I got on and I watched this video of hers, and she had this whole conversation, and even like for y'all can get up on here, that pretty much like 20,000 and 10,000. So let's just say 30,000. So you pretty much got to come up with $3 grand. So as you all can see, this is Jaguar Wright new picture here. So her new bail, her new picture, her mugshot. Give me a second if y'all can see how it is. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. So you can see 20,000, and 10,000. So together like 30 grand. So you have what? Make 10% of that. So 10% of that, what is like what, $3 grand? Do y'all see that on y'all screen there? Like, that's all got to come up with. And yeah. Is that the first? No, I don't think that's the first one, because I think that the first one was I think she's sitting there and laughing and stuff like that. Cause like, yikes. Well, we shall see. So y'all keep me updated if anything else that comes up with Jaguar Wright. Y'all definitely keep me updated. And then Armon, of course, she said, I refuse to bail her out. 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 And it's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility. And then other folks that have came up with the money to bail her out, and they was asking, can they get their money back? And I was like, I don't know, child. I don't know if you can get your money back, because what you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, that's a good point. For that, I thought you could get your money back, but they said, why would he bail her out? Because I put out there, because you made money off of her. That's what I said. And so people was like, well, why you say Armon should bail her out? I didn't just say him. I said everybody that benefited off of her content should bail her out. Everybody that benefited off of her content, off of her, should bail her out. And I'm talking about making hundreds of thousands of viewership. I'm not talking about you just put her name in and tell you got a couple of thousand. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you have all of these thousand people that sit there, but they have work, and a lot of times you have to work behind the scenes to get all that stuff together. When you about you sign your name, and they come into your house. That is something. But I want to know, like, they could put the studio down. I just hope that she stay out this side. She ain't gonna stay out. She ain't gonna stay out. And she know how to hurry up and get back to Texas, because if she would have got arrested in LA, she would have still been there. She would have. Now, somebody was calling me. Give me a second, y'all. Somebody was calling me all today, and I'm trying to get my rest. Now, mind you, I'm trying my best to get used to this to get used to this Vegas heat, right? So somebody kept calling me. Give me a sec. Somebody kept calling me over and over and over and over and over again. Let me see if I can bring them on the show, because they kept calling me from New York. And I think it's like 9:45. Let me see if they up. But they kept calling me over and over and over again. And I opened up the phone line. If y'all got something to say, let me see who was that. Because somebody calling me. They had called me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times. They have kept calling me. So let me see if I can call them back. And they was from New York. Let me see if they answer. They kept calling me. But yeah, Jack is definitely she definitely is a flight risk. Yeah, because she can't stay safe. But one day she'll be here, then next thing you know, I don't know how she traveling like that. Hello. Hey, this is Wiley from the Wiley Show. I see that you had called me earlier, and girl, I was halfway asleep. And you from New York City, so wake up. You was calling. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna return the favor and call you right back. Let me call her right back, because she had called me like 6 different times. Okay, and then somebody else had called me from this number. Let me see who this. Somebody called me at 10:58 a.m. Yeah, see, with this show number, and in this one, I'll be in a good sleep. I just put it. Hey, this is Wiley. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I see you had called me this morning. What's on your mind?
Well, I called because here's my thing, Wiley. Oh, and by the way, I love you. By the way,
I love you too.
you are so sweet. And so here's my thing, because I've been following this Jag thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And in my profession, I work with a lot of people like her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I work in mental health. I've been there for 23 years, and I noticed right away some of her issues, which I won't get into because I haven't diagnosed her. I haven't sat with her, right? I can't legally do that. But there are some telltale signs. On the other hand, if you look back at her earlier videos, if you just look back at them and look at some of the interviews she did, she wasn't as matter of fact when she did her first interview, right? She wasn't like, I was there, I know for a fact, such and such, such and such. She was always like, I heard, or someone told me, or something like that, right? Now she's all like, everything she gets on, she's like, oh, I know for a fact, I was there. You know what I mean? I was there during that time. Well, but if you look back at earlier tapes, she didn't know any of this stuff for a fact. You know what I mean? Because I've gone back and looked at some of them. She was not.
She never insert. I get what you said. She never inserted herself as being like there in first person. Yeah, it's always what she.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now, because she's getting fanfare, now all of a sudden, I was there. I was good friends. I was all this stuff. That's one way to tell when somebody's lying. The other way to tell is the fact that, okay, think about Jaguar Wright is not a spring chicken, first off. And she is talking about people, that are much younger than her. Like, for instance, if you look at, first off, this is also in her older videos. She has said many times that no one was associated with her. No one would be cool with her. Everybody blackballed her after the Jay-Z song, right? She said that herself out of her mouth, okay? Now she's saying, I hang out with this person. I kick it with that person. I see this person. Well, that's not what you said before. Before you act like nobody will deal with you, nobody has your back, nobody talks to you. So how does it go from I don't talk to anyone in the industry really to now, because everybody has you on their platform, you know everybody. You hang out with everybody. You know what I mean? The stories just aren't matching up. You know, they just are not matching up. So my thing is, like, for instance, okay, say she was in the Chris Brown Rihanna situation, right? Say she was around that. What has she told us that we didn't already know that was publicized on the news? She hasn't told us anything. You know, she really hasn't. Look at her videos, break them down, look at them. She hasn't told us anything that wasn't already in the news. So, but when she says it, she says, like, I know for a fact, I knew Chris Brown. I knew this person. Well, you didn't say that before, though. Now you're saying, I know. Right? Another situation, the Jill Scott and all that stuff. So, no, let's back up. The one thing I want to back up about, and you can say this, I want you to say some of this stuff too, because a lot of people actually agree. The one thing I watched about her is that if somebody starts to push back on her or say, well, how do you know this? Well, where were you? And during what time did this happen? She all of a sudden starts getting nervous and she doesn't know. Right? Just like, okay, if you look at the Armon interview, when Armon starts saying, okay, Jag, so what does this happen? Oh, but don't start adding stuff. You know, he actually called her on it. He said, don't start adding stuff. Because she was going to say, oh, I knew this. And he's like, don't start adding stuff. Because he kind of caught her. He may not admit it, but he caught her about the lie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And so, yeah, I remember that. And when he caught her on it, I said, it's too late, Armon. You brought a known liar to your show. Right. I remember the whole situation with Diddy, right? And when he was going on these anti-Semitic rants. So when Fox News interviewed him, they didn't interview him live because they had to cut out half of the ish he was gonna say, and then they're gonna have to deal with the pushback. They was gonna have to deal with the drama. So what Jag do now, she very and to get more clicks and views off of her, I think for what Armon should do in part 2 is to pre-record the interview, because that's and then premiere it, and then you could be in the chat and all of that and get it. Because when it was live, it was he lost focus on it because I've rarely seen him do any live interview. He haven't done a live interview in years, because even the Sukiyana interview, he was able to pre-record it and he was able to edit it, and it would have been much better. But I think what Jag wants, especially for like Armon, she wanted live because she liked to look at the comments, she liked to look at the things of that nature. But people are getting smart. It was like, no, sus, let's do this pre-recorded, and then they can like chop it up.
Right.
They can chop it up. But we don't know. But people keep saying in the chat here, sister, someone said, she said, what if she's really is telling the truth? But she's not. The timeline don't make sense at all. It's not making sense. And then people, they keep saying, why they not? Do you understand? Getting a process server to serve her, they're going to win automatically for her not showing up to court. But what can you get from Jag? Can you get her published? She don't own it. Can you get her masters?
But here's the thing, Wiley. Here's the thing. She lied so much. Let me check. I checked on a few lies. I done checked on many lies in 2 years, but I can check on a few lies. The one thing she lied about is like, if we can because we can go back to this interview, go back to like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 interviews. The reason why, I'm not gonna lie, Toxic K is a beast, and Toxic K is not my favorite, but she be on her stuff. And the one thing I like about her is she checked Jag. She was like, no, Jag, some of this stuff don't make sense. And I know Toxic K doesn't want to say everything, but I feel like Toxic K knows Jag be lying about a lot of stuff. And so my thing is this, and I know Armon knows too. He just didn't want to check on everything because he was like, well, where do you work, Jag? What do you do? And Jag was like, well, I do well. Okay, well, that's fine, but what do you work? You know what I mean? What business are you doing? What what studios are you in? You know what I mean? And where do you live? Why is it that you hop from place to place to place? If you're doing so well, why are you living in a hotel? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I guess that's my question. Okay, let's say you are doing well, because you can live in a hotel and be doing really well. But my thing is this: why are you asking for money then? Why are you always asking for money? Why are you always in jail and can't bond out? And I mean, what people that have money don't need you to bond them out. You know what I mean? If I get to go to jail,
that's a very, very good point. And especially, she don't even have like no lawyer that she can call and help her with legal issues.
Right. If I go to jail right now, Wiley, I can call my attorney and I say, okay, blah, 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 blah. Or I can call my sister. I call somebody, say, hey, this is my account. This is my card, blah, blah, blah. Go to my house and get blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? She can't do none of that. But yet she talks on all these shows talking about, I'm friends with this person. I'm friends with that person. Okay, but you're friends with all these people, right? In your mind, maybe. But you're friends with all these people. Where are all these people? I've never heard any of them. I mean, granted, a lot of these people don't do interviews. And I think that's what she bets on. I think she bets on a lot of those major people. It ain't like Beyonce gonna come out and be like, and Jaguar Wright. You know what I mean? It ain't like B gonna be sitting there talking about that. But another thing too, and I think America, our education system is messed up. But my point is, we should really pay attention, because if like say a Nicki Minaj sues her, right? Nicki Minaj can sue her. It's gonna cost Nicki probably six figures by the time she's done, right? What's Jag got? She don't have nothing. But secondly, you can't even serve her because she doesn't have an address. So how you gonna serve her?
I agree. And then like you said, when Jag gets to saying all this stuff, she's making it up. And this is the harmful part of like what the YouTubers at too. It's all about long term. And especially when you look at people like Armon Wiggins say, I love Missy Elliott. I want to get her on the show. Missy's not going to come on the show now because you brought this known liar on to say all type of disgusting things about Missy Elliott. And then now what you're going to do is pay down. And this is the damaging part about YouTube. But this is why it is challenging for celebrities to come on YouTubers' channel, because of, and these publicists are getting really smart. They go on your channel and see what you're talking about, and they either get a yay or a nay. But if you brought Jaguar Wright on recently on your video, that's like the first thing they're going to see. They're going to be like, oh, no, this no liar, because she has black ball, white ball, all in the industry. Don't nobody take her serious at all. When the P. Diddy allegations came and when mainstream media were talking about it, nobody called Jag. Have you noticed that? CNN?
You know what? Have you noticed though? This is the thing that nobody has caught. No one. Look back, and you don't have to even believe me. Look back at early videos of Jag. And I did this a long time ago, so I don't even know if they're still up. But I looked at early videos. Not one time did Jag ever say that P. Diddy was either bisexual or gay at first. Not one time did she say that. What she said was, he's conniving. He steals from his artists.
That was the first part. Yeah, that shifted.
She never said.
She never, because she didn't know what. Yeah,
she never said that.
She always followed the trends. Because at first, that was about Diddy being a thief. He's stealing people's publishing, and then she followed that trend. But again, she was not a Diddy artist. She was not. She's not friends. She don't have nobody that she can bring on to co-sign. And you can't, but people say, well, what about Lunel? Lunel is 2 steps away from being what do they call that? A conspiracy theorist. So she's not, but again, nobody, Jag peer, I'm talking about her peer that came up with her. Nobody had confirmed what she said. Even Claudia came out and said, you quote, you can't sue the homeless. And that's what she knows. You can't, people keep thinking lawsuits, that the burden of the financial was on the people that sue it. You got to file the paperwork. And then if they show up to court, then you still paying the money. Let's just say they go to trial. Jack's so twisted up, she'd sober up enough just to go to trial, just so you to spend all this money. Ain't nothing you can do to her because she ain't bringing home no check. You can't say, well, let me go to her YouTube. There is no YouTube check.
No. And then guess what happens? She gets the publicity she wants. That's what she's.
It's the publicity. It's all about.
It's
all about the publicity, man.
But this is what I was gonna say about Diddy, and I want you to use this. Look at Jags? I don't know if they're still out there. Because like I said, I've been doing this for 2 years. Look at Jag. When did she say it? You want me to tell you when she said it? When Wendy Williams said it. When they start playing Wendy Williams saying Diddy was downloading all this other stuff, that's when Jag starts jumping on the bandwagon. And then all of a sudden she knew Diddy, she been to parties, she was in the same building. Now, but you didn't say all that at first. You never said any of that. Never. And I watched her. You never said any of that. You know what I mean? You're lying. You never said any of that. You never said you were friends with Cassie. You never said you knew any of those things. Just stop. Just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. But you know what? Who's stupid? The people that's buying it.
Yeah.
The people that's buying
but
it.
the people,
it make sense.
Let's be clear. The people, they like the salaciousness. I can get someone that can be in the industry, let's just say sing background. They probably did one thing. As long as you got that one piece of truth, you can say whatever you want to say, and people will eat it up. It's sad to say, but
you are so right.
And then some people,
you are so right,
because it's the internet. It's the one place that right now it is still the wild, wild west where you can say all type of stuff, on the internet. And let's be clear, it was, and this is just about how people just addicted to attention, right? So I was on Bingo, and shout out to this YouTuber. He gets all the tea. So this one particular guy on Bingo, because Diddy is so popular now, he said I was on my Diddy-ish. I R-word a Latino man. He was bleeding all over me, doodling all over me. I took it from him. I put my hand over his mouth. Now, mind you, you're saying this on a public platform.
Right.
People don't care. This generation will share things that, even if that is the truth, you would never come out and say it on the internet. But people want clout. And people was eating it up. It's just so disgusting how far people will go for attention. But this is the generation that we're in. And it's even worse on Bingo. You think YouTube is bad? Baby, I've seen some stuff on Bingo where people will beat on each other all for dollars and cents. And was one case, the boy was hitting him with a chair and all type of stuff. And that's the reality of the culture. And let's not even talk about the pandemic of OnlyFans now, because it was a guy on there named Castro, and he's quote unquote gay for pay. So these creators got him on the camera, and he was not in his right mind. So he said in the video on the OnlyFans, y'all are worrying me. They was literally, he was not there, and they still gave him that thing up his rectum. And then now he came out with a statement saying he was not there. He was highly intoxicated, and but they were doing it all on camera. So it's a lot of stuff that is going on the internet, and it's just a lot of stuff that's going on the internet, from like Jag lies and all. And I was seeing some of that stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, when did the internet get this treacherous and demonic? Because there's so many ways where people can gravitate to sickness, and they will make you popular. It's like the more sick you are, the more popular you become.
But Wiley, here's the thing. That's why when I look at your stuff, I'm like, man, Wiley, say this. I like being there, like, say this. I'm like, call him on this. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I study the brain, so I know how the mental capacity can take on this identity, right? Because that's what she's done. She's taken on this identity of this be all, know all. I was there, But here's the reality. And if you don't remember, and I don't know how much you remember this, and I really like that song Cry that she did with Jay-Z. And I really liked that back in the day. So, of course, when Jay-Z made that song, I was following him. I don't follow him like that. You know what I mean? But when he made that song, I did follow him. And I always want to know, who's that lady singing in the background? And so when I found out it was her, I was like, oh, she can sing. I really love her voice. You know, I was like, she really made that song, right? So one day I was watching TV, and I was in school at the time, and I was watching TV, and I was like, she had said that, oh, after that, we didn't do any touring. So it was some like snippet that she had said, after that, we didn't do any touring. Well, later in the years, it came out, when she first said something about Jay-Z, there was another interview, and I don't know if the interview's still up, but I know he said, because somebody was asking about that song, and he actually mentioned, well, after that, something about she got into it with somebody. I can't remember the whole story. Don't let me lie. I can't remember the whole story. But there was something about she got into it with somebody, or maybe him directly, and after that, she couldn't do the tour. Mm-hmm. So if you remember, she only did that MTV thing, right, and then she did some other stuff with him. But after that, you didn't hear about her. Something happened to her; she got kicked off. So my thing is, and this is me, and now this is just my logic. Mm-hmm. My thing is, she's so mad at Jay-Z because from what she said, even out of her mouth, she said after that song she should have blew up. That's what she said. You know what I mean? After that song, she should have blew up.
I agree.
My thing is, she's mad because she didn't blow up after that song.
Right, because she was only on the live thing, because she didn't get on the recording piece, but there was only a short amount of time for that neo soul. Remember, if you go back to Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, all of those neo soul artists, there was a time where that was extremely popular. But you know, in music, there's trends. And unfortunately, Jaguar Wright, because of whatever, she did not change with the time. One thing I can say about Jill Scott, though she was not selling out arenas and music and stuff like that, where did she transition into? Acting.
Right.
She got into acting. I believe Jaguar Wright will be great to get in acting, but who want to put her on a movie set when she may commit a crime and you got a whole script, got her in a couple of scenes, and you got to reshoot the movie over because she went on and got her hand part arrested. So it's a lot of things that she could do as a person, but again, until she get right upstairs, everything she do downstairs is gonna crumble. She ain't. Well, you know what, too? It's like these great ideas that we have. That's only for people that can really. Because first of all, you're already in a stressful environment of the industry. It's already stressful. But if you go in there mentally disturbed, how she is, we don't have to say allegedly. The state took over and said that she have a mental illness, and then her family. It reminded me of my Uncle Freddie, and he had this for years, never gotten help, and then he died in a mental institution. So I don't want to see that for her, but if she keep going the way she's going, that's what's going to happen. Because eventually, and the sad part about it for her, she's going to be replaced, and she's not going to be able to deal with it. Because again, she got replaced in the industry, and you see what happened. She went to the internet. Eventually, there's going to be somebody else more crazier and more. It's going to be new because, you know, the internet, we move on. Remember, Face of Krishan was like the famous thing. Now we all moved on to Charles and Miss Netta. Remember? See how we move so quickly in the industry now? And that harms a lot of people when you're used to that attention. That harms. I remember a lot of people that served, like it was wrestlers, and how they was famous and had to get there in general, and nobody cared about them. And said, what do? They wind up doing more destructive things because don't nobody care anymore. It's hard. Everybody can't phase out being the talk of the town, and when nobody walk past you, don't even care about you. Everybody can't deal with that type of rejection. So I think Jaguar is living proof of that. She found the internet, and now she can boast and lie. I was the top lead in neo so hard. That's a lie. I had multiple back-to-back #1 records. Another lie. I wrote all of these Grammy, and if that's the case, obviously you didn't have a contract because you should not be broke.
Okay, but where's the royalties? Where's the royalties?
That's what I'm saying.
Where's the royalties at?
Just mind my own business here. I'm just just ban my own business here, but I am talking about it because again, when we talk about it, and I had to learn this about YouTube. So I had to learn this about YouTube because I was trying to like do stuff. My audience, and they may disagree with this. They may disagree, but they love drama, salaciousness. They love that type of gossip because we put Jag in the title here, and they come here and they come on the show and it eats it up because she is just so. Everybody is so obsessed with the drama that she brings because she lives up to it. Like now she in jail. Okay, now she's back in the algorithm. So now we got to see who else she's gonna drag. Even Tasha K came and Tasha, and we know she's a known liar too. And the thing about with Tasha is that you can't call out Jag when you lie to content creators. And this is the point
right there,
with Tasha that gets me get the blood boil in me. So she's on Sean David Way. Oh, Sean David Way, you should do some stand up. You know what I'm gonna do?
You know what? Why? Let me say this.
No, let me say this.
You
know what I'm gonna do with the content creators? I'm gonna get everybody up on that stage, get them to me. She's not gonna do that. Like she say this stuff just to make it seem like, and y'all let this woman in and all that. And that's what I can't do because I can't stand that fake stuff that Tasha does. They made my blood boil because I had like a flashback. I was listening at the screen and I just went back to every time she come on the channel, she will offer that. Oh, Wiley, we gonna do this podcast. We gonna do all this stuff, and it's all a bunch of cap. It's lies. She's not gonna share that spotlight. It's gonna be she the lead star. Because anyway, if she was gonna share that Sean David Way, why she didn't give it to Bondi Blue? She's not gonna bring somebody, give them, especially like a person
who's really good.
Give me 10 minutes of stand up for me to write 10 minutes worth of material and to go before her. She would never do that. Because why risk bringing somebody that can really work on, and especially eat that crowd up so much, and then people see her get on stage and they might walk out and leave like, oh, child's over. I don't think she's willing to share that. Tasha K ego is not going to allow an up-and-coming talent to risk to dilute her being the main headliner. I don't see Tasha doing that, and she ain't gonna do it because she has.
I don't. You know what else though, Wiley?
I'm sorry.
I don't see her doing that, but I also okay, you and I agree on a lot of stuff, and that's why I still
okay.
With you. Because the thing about it is, like I think you could be a lot bigger than what you are.
Of course, it takes, and this is why I've learned. Like it takes a lot, and this is why I learned, and I'm watching, and I listen to people, and I just watch. You have to. It's all on God's assignment, and one thing that you you also have to understand is. It's a lot of work. I never had my big break yet. It takes a lot of, because the way my mind is, because a lot of people, they will come to you, hey, Wiley, come work with me, but you can't be Wiley. You got to be people punching bag. You got to, you know what I'm saying? I could have done that. Even to this, you know, when I was just thinking about, I was just watching a video. I was just watching a video of Armon, and I remember the conversation we would have. And he would say, you know, stop what you're doing and just follow me and I'll bring you along. That's all cap. I would have to just settle for being behind the scenes. And maybe, you know, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to settle all of this talent that I have, settle for being behind the scenes. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that at all. And even when I go back, somebody just sent me a video of what he shared. It just came out of my timeline. And nobody don't really want to settle for that. Not even King wants to settle for that. Like, it's no one regret that I give. I wasn't honest from that day one, because no, I don't want to say. And he's the type of person, anybody that have that type of attitude. You fall out with this person, then I got to fall out. I got to follow your lead, and I don't want to follow like that. I'm sorry. Because I get along with everybody. I don't like to say, oh, I don't get along with that person, Wiley, so you can't talk to her. I don't like to hang around them type of people, because them the type of people that really don't get along with a lot of people. And then you have to follow like they lead and all that type of, until they get right with the person, and then you looking stupid. You still mad, but yeah, they didn't made up. So you got to be very cautious with that. when it comes to stuff like that. But go ahead. I'm sorry, sis. What else you would say?
But don't you feel like that's just our people though too?
Of course, that is our people. Even when I go like on the live, like I'm glad I went live today to talk about Jag, because look at many people that's in here listening and just on the show having a great conversation, and it's just really great because people like, regardless of what they say about Jaguar Wright, they like about Jaguar Wright. You know what I'm saying? So now this time, if Jag come to Vegas, of course I will interview Jaguar Wright. Why not? I mean, that's what people want, and you have to literally do what the audience want. Now, mind you, when I do interview Jaguar Wright, it ain't gonna be in the privacy of my own home. We got to have witnesses.
No.
Because that woman will put an allegation on you, and the same people that say she like, they will believe her.
Right, it'd be a complete lie. But here's the thing, Wally. Let me tell you what I like about you. You're very authentic. You're just yourself, and that is what separates you from a lot of the bloggers. Because in my opinion, a lot of the bloggers play to the camera. They play to the camera, and they play to whatever the punchline or the story is at the moment.
Yeah, and it's gonna take time to make it just being authentically you. You know, I think I have to be me, because that's what I try to be somebody else. I'm like, man, it's not me, because it's not me. I like to be me. And all of that. Now, with that being said, you still need the right people to be you. How can you make that marketable? What can you talk about? And all of that. Now, the Jaguar Wright piece. Okay, I'm gonna take the side of the mental health, because again, I cannot deny the fact and come at her so hard, because we was at the same hospital. We went some of the same hospitals that she attended, was a patient of. I was, so I can relate to her when the state of Texas said, "Hey, you can't go home. We have the power of your body. Like, you are a danger until the doctor clear you." I was in that same predicament as Jaguar Wright. But what makes me different than Jag is that I've learned that, you know, you got to make that change, and you got to work on yourself, because I don't want to have this life where I'm always in and out of a hospital, and, you know, or just on the street where I can't. And Jag is just lucky and blessed that she got a yoni, and people still want to screw her, because she do use that to do it. I was on Couture Bay channel, and it was this lady named, her name was Angel. She has schizophrenic too. So I hang around a lot of crazy folks. So we could tell when Angel had her medicine, she just is calm. Then you can tell when she's not medicated. She got all these weird allegations, and anything about the church, she will embellish everything. I remember one time Jag to take her medicine. I mean, not Jag, Angel to take her medicine. So she downstairs baking a cake for her in the church. She said she gonna bake a cake for her child. So they say, Angel, you can't come to the church kitchen and bake no cake. I'm baking a cake for my child. Now, mind you, she ain't got no custody. All her kids is gone, because she would have all these hospital bracelets on her, and they will still R-word her and get her pregnant, because she would be on the street. She have all these kids. I personally believe she probably got about 15 kids, because she always, but in the state will take her. But I could tell when she was medicated. I could tell when she's medicated, she just like a sweet woman, so nice. And then you could tell when she ain't medicated, she go off, she get aggressive, she want to fight. My grandmother, like, she would cuss, and then she would go on these weird allegations, because you can't trust people with schizophrenic. Like, you just really, you have to be specially trained to be around it. And because of the internet, that is a cuckoo person's playground, is that internet.
Well, it is, because what they do is they assume personality traits. They assume stories. You can't believe, you know, it's so sad. Now, this is really sad, and I can tell you from personal and professional experience, that they will embellish whatever they see in their head, right? So if they assume someone else's identity, right? They'll say, I had this one patient that she had a sister that had been molested. She had a sister that had been married, and all this stuff. she actually assumed all the stories she heard from the sister and then added to it. Made it seem like the sister's husband raped her. The sister's husband did all these things to her. She hadn't seen these people in years, right? But she basically took her life and made it seem like it was her because she had already heard the stories, right? This happens so often, more than you can even imagine. My sister's a neuropsychologist as well. She says the same thing. It happens a lot. You know what I mean? And so therefore you gotta break down what is false and what is true, right?
Yeah.
You gotta kind of try to get to the real aspect of it and the real issue. You know what I mean? And so that's why I kind of feel sorry for Jag, because she is so on a high right now because she's being accepted and she's being, lauded over, and she's, Jag is the truth. Jag knows she's not the truth. Jag knows some of the stuff she's saying is not the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But however, what Jag has done
it's a high though.
Bits and pieces.
It's like easy when I had my manic moments, you couldn't tell me and I would say some crazy stuff too, and a lot of stuff. I would harass people more. That was my thing. And I was medicated and I was very manic, and I would call people back to back to back. I had all this robust energy. All that. You couldn't tell me. I would argue. I would pick fights.
Absolutely.
I would find stuff out about a person's childhood and people in my family, and I would, even if I don't know if it's fact, I keep sharing it until I provoke them and stuff. So that was a part of the problem. So I know what Jag going through, and thank God that I calmed down a whole lot and I got myself together. But those were times where when you manic, it's hard to stop that type of person, especially when they're off balance, when they're chemically off balance. You can definitely tell. Jag did have one of her breaking points when she put the ashes on her. You saw a breaking point of her. You saw her going to police station. You saw her going into the leasing office. That Jag still exists. And if she keep playing like she's playing with fire, and you got to be very cautious with her. And you got to be very, 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 very cautious. But people love her. People love to watch her, because if they really did love her, they would encourage her to get help. They want her out on the street because she gives clicks and views. She goes on channels, she talks, and eventually, it's gonna come a time where she's gonna crash out. She's gonna crash out.
Well, but she's gonna get somebody. Here's the thing about Jag. I don't have a problem with her. I think she's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all can agree on that. Yes, ma'am.
I think she would utilize that more, and I wish she would do more with that. She's a great actress. She should be acting, But here's the thing: which Jag are you getting?
Which Jag are you getting?
She's got a lot in there,
and she can be. And she got a sweetness in her. It's just that she struggled from an illness, and you can tell that. You can tell it. I see it, and I move back from it, and that's what I said to myself, because I know how to provoke her. I know all the trigger words. When I know how to bring up her ex, I will be so dirty to bring up the people that violate her. Because if you want attention, I'm gonna go towards who violates you,
right?
And talk, because she can't stand her sister. So I will rebellish and pick at that, because I've done that with my mother when I wasn't well. I've heard some stuff about, provoked her to the point we cussed it to 110. And this trans sister that left me in her apartment, she almost lost her apartment because that's how loud I was able to provoke my mother. My mother said, out of all her children, she said, you took me there. I provoked her. Because again, when you're not well mentally, so you can provoke somebody, especially when that person is close to you and all of that. And that's why I said, hey, that's why it's not good to have all those trigger moments. And it's so surprisingly where my doctor would say, Wiley, when that internet gets you, cut it off. Like that's what I love. And this is why I have to have that well balance to work a regular job than versus being so consumed with the internet. Because sometimes it gets to me, because at one point I used to love talking about, police deleting black people and taking black people, but I had to stop watching that because it effed up my The reason why I'm good now because I stopped watching all them videos and I will be heavily consumed. I like to watch the 911 tape and I will play it over and over and over. And it's I snapped. And so that's why it's not good to watch that all them type of videos. It's really, 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 really not good. Thank you, Couture, because I have one on Couture channel, and I was trying to share the story again about Angel with this lady that she had a mental problem and she just on the street now. Now, mind you, if Angel, if she was on the internet, baby, she would be she would be a top leader creator because the stories that she embellish and talk about, it is so believable. And my grandmother, and one thing that I would not tell people, try to correct the person when they're in their reality, it's hard to go in there and snap them out of it. Because my grandmother would go and she would try to snap Angel out of it because she knew her when she was a little girl, and her mother had a mental problem, but it wasn't as like her daughter. Her daughter just, her problem was way worse. So that's a lot of stuff in church. We must talk about mental illness because it exists. I don't care how Black folks try to suppress it, cover it up. It exists. It exists in my family. It exists in your family. We just don't want to talk about it, but it's there. Yeah. It's there. You see it in some of your nieces, your nephews. You see it, but it's like
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. That's why you have to get the help that you need. Jag unfortunately need the help, and there's one thing about that I love about this book that I read, The Silent Eight, and Courtney B. Vance, when his father, when he in his life, he took his own life. His mother said to Courtney and his sister, said, "Hey, I'm going to go to a psychiatrist, talk to somebody because we need to break this cycle. Y'all go to talk to somebody." So what she did was, as the mother, she broke that cycle and say, "Hey, let's literally go to the point and get some help." As a result of the reverse bond condition related to Jaguar Wright's third felony threatening harm to the police department, is now required to participate in a mental health diversion program. She needs to participate, and thank God for Texas that they're getting better with that. And like when I had my problem with Texas, you know what I'm saying, they offered that, but I didn't want to go to a mental place, like, because there's no telling I probably would still been in there. Like, that's a risk that I'm not willing to take, because a lot of times I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but they do, you know, I didn't want, and my lawyer said, "Hey, there is no time," because the doctor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, they have to clear you. And if they feel
there's levels, because after the 72 hours, which is when they're supposed to do the eval, once they do the eval will tell what level you are, and it has to reach a certain level in order to be able to hold you for that 30 days, Once you get past that 30 days, then the doctor can clear you.
Right, because I remember that. Because I remember I was so, and I needed the help. I was in denial, and thank God that professionals was there, because I was there for a couple of days. Obviously, I needed more treatment, and I was in a bad predicament. They said, "Well, let's send you to another facility," because I was definitely in need, because it harmed me very, very. When I go back to that moment, I wasn't eating, I wasn't participating, like I detached from reality, didn't want to eat, didn't want to go to group, didn't want to do nothing. I will never forget this nurse came to me. She said, "You know, you need help." I don't need no help. And I would go right back to sleep. Like, I would sleep, because it's not good to oversleep. Like I didn't sleep much, and then I was oversleeping, and then I was not eating. I was not eating at all. I snapped out of reality. I was not eating.
What it is called mood depression.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it was. I was like, it was mood depression. It was on me very, very hard. And that's why when I see myself trying to get into that, that's why I'm like, oh no, that's why I stay is busy, because that will sneak up on you. Because it got me to the point, baby. It was like, and that's what I learned, that it's real. That depression is real. I thought it was all fake. Girl, ain't no such thing as no depression. That means you just weak, get up, be a man. But when it happened to me, I was like, oh yeah, depression is real. And what I did
What a
was
disconnect
I
from
had to,
reality
I
is
had
what
to,
it is.
yeah, I had to get out of it. And I've been doing okay. And I love talking about it because it's this veteran that watched this show, Natasha. She said, Wiley, thank you for sharing that. That made me, after
Yes.
spending 20 some years in the military, that made me go speak to someone.
Yes.
So it's good
And I
to share your
appreciate
story.
it too, Wiley.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
I
man.
appreciate it. I appreciate it too. Because I think I love people like yourself that can be open about things that we all could, all of us could have something. We don't know. You know what I mean? It's not black, white, rich, poor, whatever. We could all suffer from something. You know what I mean? We could all have a mental break. You know what I mean? It like schizophrenia and all those things. Those are things that are what they think is genetic. Okay. But we all could have a mental breakthrough, or it can be severe depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mood
it
depression.
can.
We can have all these other things.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
they
mean?
ask you about
So,
a lot, about your family history. Because when I first went to the mental hospital, they asked me about my mother, and I was able to tell like what my mother went through, because she suffered from mental illness too. And I didn't know the generation effects of it until until my 20s. It hit me. It just like whoo! It just hit me in my 20s, and when it hit me hard. And this is why it's important to get the treatment.
let me ask real quick.
Yeah.
Can I ask real quick? Did it hit you after you had something really big in your life happen?
It did. What triggered it when my sister shared that she was R-word by my best friend, that triggered it. It triggered it that it felt for me, it felt like nobody wanted to hear me. And at the time, nobody did want to believe me, hear me, and everything. So that drove me to my breaking point. And then again, I had so much stuff that I just suppressed, and I push under like in a pillow or something. I really didn't talk about it. And then when my sister shared that, it's like nobody came to my rescue, my sister rescue, nobody cared. And that was just like, I just started cussing, and it shocked everybody. It shocked everybody in that house. They didn't know what to say. Oh, I think he got AIDS. I think he's a drug addict. And it was just like over and over and over and over. And I was just cussing. I was out of my mind. And once I got out of that environment, I was like, okay, that was a very triggering moment. And then Texas, then something worse happened, no family. And I think that was the one when I had that breakdown. It was a trigger for me because other stuff started happening. And I didn't know how to control my emotions at that particular time. I needed help. And it's sad that you have to commit a crime to get the help that you need. But hey, Texas stepped in. Shout out to Texas. They stepped in, and they was able to give me the help that I needed. I was able to get the help that I needed, and now I know that's why I prioritize sleep. That's how I get into bed, and I don't try to sleep as much because, like, sometimes it's not good to do that all day because that's not healthy. You sleep it all day every day. You just get up and use the restroom. That's not good. You gotta go outside. You gotta participate because I used to be like that. Just sleep all day, just be in the house, or don't even sleep, just in the room, just all day, not eating. Before you know it, it's 3 weeks or it's 4 weeks. So it's good to have people to check in. Hey man, you gonna lie? I love that. That's why I'm kind of like, I love to have that. Sometimes I get a little irritated, but I thank God that I do have somebody that's gonna call and text and say how you doing, check in on you. Because sometimes you get into those spaces and you spaz out and you need someone to be there to check up on you. But I thank God for it. But Jad, I hope somebody is there for her, but you have to be willing to listen.
But you can't. But hold up.
Yeah.
Some people will accept it. Some people won't.
Oh yeah.
And I think Jag is the type. Where we're failing with Jag is that we have to get her off the internet.
Oh yeah.
Because she is invigorated when she gets. We're feeding the beast is what we're doing. You know what I mean? And she's already got this disconnect with reality. So we're feeding that.
Facts.
You know what I mean? We're giving her what she needs in order to get bigger and bigger. You know how an animal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that's what she's doing.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And
It's
people kept
unfortunate.
saying, oh, well, you're mad because you don't get it. No, I'm not mad. It's like it's almost like you're taking advantage of an elderly person. Remember, it was the
Yes.
case, right? It was a guy, a Black Panther. He got dementia, right? So a lady in a facility interviewed him to talk about Trump. And so he was saying in the video, Trump gave us these brownstones in the 60s. He took over Harlem. But if you know any research about the Trumps, the five, they was not in Harlem. They didn't do no business in Harlem in the 60s. And Trump was in school. He wasn't helping no Black Panther.
Right.
But then when the truth come out, they don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it because people will put people mentally ill. People got people with dementia and will put them in front of the camera and they will say all type of weird stuff. And then when you say the truth, it's almost like you ain't making no sense. But this is why the internet is a good place because you can talk about stuff, you can entertainment, you can get clicks, you can make money, but it also could be a very toxic place where you believe what these people say is factual when it's not. And we haven't really seen the danger of the internet yet because now you got AI. That's a whole nother beast.
We are seeing the dangers.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
We're seeing the dangers in mental health. We're seeing the dangers in children. We're seeing the dangers in adolescents. You know what I mean? The preteens and teens. We're definitely seeing the dangers.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And just people overall that are disconnected. You know what I mean?
They don't know how to have human reaction either. If you notice, they don't know how to sit down. Like they was doing a study how people can't sit at the dinner table without having phones. And in order to break the cycle, it have to start block by block, family by family, and we have to have that moment where you can sit at the dinner table and don't have your phone. Me personally, I had to stop, put my phone on do not disturb because them notifications go off 24/7. But now I think Instagram, I love that feature where they have a silent or sleepy hours, and I just put on do not disturb. And as soon as I take that phone, I do not disturb. You're getting hundreds of notifications, especially if you are a person that's on the internet and you entertaining. You're going to get people to reach out to you 24/7, stories upon top of stories. And then for me, having a phone line, sometimes people call in and want to talk about their problems, about what they're going through. And sometimes that's not healthy either. Because I can't carry this whole load about your husband, your mama, your financial, your kids. I'm going through. I can't carry it. I'm just one person. And that's why I see a lot of these pastors be going crazy. Because God didn't design one person to handle all that pressure. That's a human being.
Right. No, I think what's so interesting about you is that, and I don't catch you all the time because I'm pretty busy, but I catch you every now and again, and I love it because it's refreshing because your demeanor is very upbeat, but I think too I've seen the growth, that makes a difference. If I'm looking at a blogger, right, and that blogger, I'm seeing the same stuff year after year. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? We're seeing the same pattern, the same. What I would like to see more of is more of, with our Black community. I feel like we are really doing a lot of damage. I feel like we are really, really doing a lot of damage. I would like to see someone or a blogger that really dwells into the issues that really are affecting Black America and really not be afraid to. Because I feel like a lot of bloggers, they want to tiptoe into it, but they're really afraid to say what really is the truth, right? I feel like they don't want to say, for instance, they don't want to say, we have an issue with Black marriage. We have an issue with raising our children. We have an issue with the way we see ourselves. These are real issues. And the white man didn't do that. Yes, they started it, but we are the ones that perpetuate some of these really bad self-views. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And until we deal with our stuff, it's going to be very hard to really get someone from the outside to look at us any differently. You know what I mean? And I don't even care about them. I'm more concerned about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
and then
more
also like
concerned
yeah, and but you know, I think that in order for the bloggers to feel like they're interested in doing that, people are worried about what's going to bring them the money, what's going to bring them the
right.
clicks and views. You know what I'm saying? I may talk about a subject, but it's disheartening when you get 10 people to view it, but then you put Jag in it and it's 200. So I
Right.
think in order for for bloggers to follow that and do that, they have to see the money in it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of them will not do it. Even when I watch, and I use that as an example, when I watch Tasha K, she had the Kennedy guy on there, right? So he's running for president. But when I went on the channel there, and I'm gonna make sure I get my facts correct, it didn't do that much in viewership. Because you know why? She do not talk about politics like that. They didn't care
Right. Right.
about that interview.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's like, you know, even for myself, it how YouTube is, and I have to admit this, is whatever do good last month, algorithm, all that, follow that trend. It's about following
Yep. Yep.
algorithm
Yep.
trends. Like right now, Jaguar Wright. So now you keep talking about Jaguar Wright or something similar to something crazy. Jaguar Wright or Orlando Brown or Chris Shine or, you know, all
Right.
the stuff,
Right. Right.
because the algorithm rewards it. What I would do, which is not good, oh, okay, let's talk about Donald Trump. No, you starting back from ground zero, unless it's something similar to him and a psych war arguing civil revenge, then maybe it would work. But as starting out with the algorithm, in order to boost the build up a solid foundation and then all of that, you have to talk about what worked. Even when I see some creators, right, they'll talk about female rappers, and then they'll do a 3 or 180. Oh, let's talk about tarot cards. And then you notice they lost all of that viewership because most of the people
Right.
not there to know about their asparagus or Scorpio. They don't care nothing about that.
Right.
They don't care nothing about
Right.
a joker and a diamond, and they don't care. They're not going to view it because that's not your. Now there is some channels that it was a white psychic lady. That's her bread and butter. She predicted about Diddy, and tens of 20, 30, 40, 50 some thousand people is in the live chat because that's her.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
That's her bread and butter. That's what she do. But you know, it's other folks try to follow that, but they don't know she don't just talk. She just talk about that. She live and breathe that as well. So again, it's a good point. They say YouTube blocks a lot of word and certain type of creators. They will suppress your views and won't even get the notification. Yeah. And so now because the Jaguar Wright is so high in the algorithm, now people are getting the notification that I haven't seen in months. They will say, and
But you know what's so
I haven't been in your
crazy?
channel in over 6 months because I wasn't talking about something. Because YouTube think, man, before they only to be successful is, can you do content? Let's make it clear. Let's make it plain that keep people on YouTube. That's the strategy. And how YouTube work, we will share your content if it is the content that the data that we see that's keeping people consistently on the thing. If you have some content that is keeping the people up on YouTube, then we will share it. Because we're talking about Jag, our numbers have not dropped until like 10 people, 20 people. But because we're talking about something, and if you notice, and as you notice, people clicking the like button. They're clicking organically. You don't have to force them because you're talking about something I like. You're talking about something that's piquing my interest and all of that. So I'm learning and I'm understanding how this thing go. You just got to be consistent. Me personally, I don't want to talk about it, but I eat it up because I kind of like having it because it's draining when you were getting people in your chat and then they all went away. It's not like they forgot about you. It's that you're not talking about what they want to see. And this is clear evidence, regardless of what we say about Jaguar Wright.
That's true.
In this particular sector. Now, it's other datas out there that will tell you the top leading content for advertisers, but you have to start from ground zero. And it can work, but you have to. But the beauty about YouTube that I'm learning is that it is one of the most challenging platforms for me. And everybody got ways to grow. Some of the stuff is BS, and some people got it, some people don't. But it's about the consistency. And once I break through, I will be able to sell that course, and people will be able to live it and take what I say is real, because they was like, oh, Wiley been doing this for a little while, so let's see what he had to say. But one thing I can say a little piece, and it's just me just being on YouTube just can say, if the Jaguar Wright content is work, keep talking about the Jaguar Wright. But what people will do is, and I'm tired of talking about Jag, but if the numbers is numbering, that's why people stay stuck in that one.
Then you ain't tired.
It is what it is. It's no different if
they ain't tired.
The number, like they say, cooking show is great, but you may not, your content may not flourish just you frying a piece of chicken, because you still got to be you in order for that to grow. It's all about and nothing. I haven't seen nobody that just pop up on YouTube overnight. And just became an overnight sensation. Not even Kevin Samuels, because when Kevin Samuels, may God rest the dead, when he started out, he did professional videos, like all that. Then he switched it up, dissing black women, and then poof, he went up. It was
remember, this is what I used to tell people about him too. And I used to. He blew up over becoming very negative, honestly. And because here's the deal, very smart man, will not knock him. You know what I mean? But don't knock his hustle either. But here's the reality. When he started out, he was very hard on men.
Very hard.
Extremely hard on men.
Very hard.
You know what I mean?
But the man is not in the,
What was that blogger he talked to that said, you keep doing that, you're gonna never get very big? I can't remember who he talked to. Because I only watched it a couple of times. He's not my cup of tea, but I respect him. But he talked to that blogger. He actually talks about it. He talked to the blogger, and then he switched it around and started talking about women, because at the time that was just starting to blow up. Where if you talk about black women, then all of a sudden your numbers will shoot through the roof. So he switched it, and then he never changed that. He kept sticking to that
because that was the money maker.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the data, there's more women that watch more content up on the internet. So they ate that up. And the thing about it with the women too, they help the content because it only works when women are able to argue with the man and to talk about their weight size and to talk about, I want a man with no kids. It only works when they're able to add into their 2 cents.
Right. Which is so funny. Let me tell you what's so, because I used to, people used to always tell me, you should do a blog. And I'm like, I don't even have time to even breathe. So I can't, dang, I have time to do a blog. But they used to always tell me to do a blog. And I was like, well, if I did a blog, it would be something that would kind of be a self-help for our people, and more of a matter of fact, because I'm very matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't think America's ready for that. I don't. You know what I mean? Because if I go on there, I'm gonna just tell you the problems we got. And you can like me or not like me, but you probably ain't gonna like me. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tell you about we need to straighten up Black America. And it ain't gonna be just me holding hands and kumbaya and you know what I mean? I love my people. I'm pro-Black. Absolutely pro-Black. I love everybody, but I'm pro-Black. And I'm struggling because these people sit in my chair all the time. With me being a counselor, I see them all the time. I see the issues that we deal with, and it's sad. It's really sad. And so, I don't know, being a blogger is just not, I don't know why.
And being a blogger, it takes, again, this is a very challenging. It's great competition. You have the good days, you have the bad days. Like now, okay, baby, we back in the algorithm. Like people watching, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so it's those ways. But thank you so much for coming on.
I love you. I think you're awesome. I wish you please just keep doing what you do. Don't switch it up for people.
No.
And keep being pleasant, and
Thank you.
but also give it back to them. They give it to you, you give it back to them.
You know it. That's what we're gonna do.
And then also too, I think have some guests on, like, myself, because I think sometimes we look at these superstars as they're not human. You know what I mean? We look at these stars and like, oh, well, they can't be lying. Well, yeah, they can be lying.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They're just like us.
That's so true.
So I think
thank you. And thank you for calling in. Well, thank you for answering.
You're sweet. I look forward to it, and give me a call anytime, Wiley.
All right now.
You take care, sweetie.
Okay, yo, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And let me call this person back. They called me. Real quick. Press one if you all can hear me. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hi, Wiley. This is Ray. I called you yesterday, and I want to just piggyback off of the caller before me. I like your show too, and I like it for the same reasons as she said. You're very authentic. You see growth in you. But I wanted to ask a question, because you were talking about, when you talk about, I love when you talk about politics. I love when you talk about your life and you share the truth, because that is very rare. Truth is rare. Unfortunately, authenticity is rare, and you are both. And I love that about you, because you give me food for thought. You're not just gossip. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Of course, if I follow you, you do gossip, and I like gossip too, but I can't feed myself that on a regular basis. I can't have a daily dose of that on a regular basis. Because, I can't use gossip to distract from real life. You know what I mean? I got to give myself balance, my soul and my spirit balance of giving me some things that I need that's going to help me grow. So, but my question for you is, like, you were talking about pivoting and how your viewership drops when you switch to other things, and then you use Tasha K as an example. But I think with Tasha K or just other people, that makes you different is that whenever you're pivoting, you have to give it time for people to catch on, because there is a world of politics out there. There are people out there that are interested in politics, like Dana that does Judge Joe Brown. They have a lot of followers, and she talks about a little bit of pop culture as well, but predominantly politics and stuff like that. And I think whenever you decide to pivot to whatever you choose to pivot to, you have to give it time and expect people to drop off, because that's what growth is. When you grow, you're going to lose something.
But I agree with what you're saying. And I think to add on to that, that's why you have to have something to supplement the income when you're going to take that drop. Because it's you can't preach that to someone and say, hey, take this financial risk, and then you may end up homeless, chasing, all that. That's why I said, if you have something to supplement your income, like when I pivot from the B sector to the trending news, we lost all of the B sector support, majority of it. But because I worked and I had another income coming in, checks coming in, okay, I took a 6-month hit. And then now you're known now for mostly talking about trending news, etc. Because at one point it was all B sector. And when I talk about celebrity gossip, no viewers, because the people on my channel didn't watch that. They didn't know me for that. Right. So when I pivot from that, it took about, I would say, 6 months to get what it. So again, the political stuff could work, is that you have to, and this is the time to do it more now than ever. But in order, you got to be consistent in that and really do that. And so, yeah, but I will tell anybody, the reason why people don't really risk to take that choice is because you know you're gonna lose out financially with the money that you're making, and then you make. But if you got some more income coming in, then you can take that risk.
So I have another question for you though.
Yeah, you can
so first question is how many years when you first started the beef sector? What year was that, and how long has Tasha K been on this whole YouTube thing?
Oh, Tasha K, I've been on. Tasha K was on consistently before me. Like even though I've been on longer, but I'm talking about like consistently. Tasha been doing it. And what really I think helped Tasha is that when she talked about it, is certain topics that really pushed her to the forefront, and that was that R. Kelly stuff. Like that R. Kelly was her first. This before the Cardi, any of that. This before the documentary. This before
yeah, of course.
So that it just worked. And what was the secret sauce, or if you want to call it that, was that she was getting some of the victims, family members, working with her, and they helped pivot her to make her more reliable source. At one point, Tasha was just this truthful platform. She didn't start becoming this untrue, nothing but gossip liar when she got sued by Cardi and once it came out. But before, she had that R. Kelly content on lock. I personally believe that was her entry point into the industry. But of course, anytime you black and you black women do all the hard work, white folks coming in, don't give her no credit. But half of that documentary, if not all of it, they got that information from Tasha, and they didn't give Tasha K the credit that she deserving of that. But how she got,
and that's another thing. That's one thing I like about you too, is that you are very. People may say, "Oh, you flip flop," but not really, because you're very honest. Like, you give people credit when credit is due, and when you don't agree with them, you don't agree with them. You know what I mean? Like, you say that, you say Armon Wiggins is your favorite celebrity, and you want to see him win, and you see the bet, and you see the potential in him. But when he's wrong and he's made a mess, you say it's a mess. And to me, that's not flip flopping. That's reality.
That's reality.
Because everything in life, everything in life ain't fair. Everything in life is not just always right. You know, that's what gets people into a lot of trouble, when you got yes people around you and everybody saying you're wonderful, your poop don't stink, and all of that stuff. Like, that's not real. You know what I mean? I would want somebody around me that's going to say, you know what, that's wrong, this is right, that's wrong, this is right. You know. But another question I have for you, that to me, what makes you also a credible, is that, number one, you've been in this game a long time and you pivoted. See, one thing about people that they don't understand is that everybody has a starting point. And in life, if you're on a journey and you really have a goal, you understand that you're going to have to pivot. And because you were not afraid to pivot, and you pivoted, and you're still here, and you have viewership, it may not be 500,000, but it doesn't matter. You started off somewhere and you're somewhere else. And
Amen.
to me, that says a lot about your character. That says a lot about your stamina, and that means you're not like just a leaf. You have roots. You know what I mean? You're grounded, because people who flew away, everybody who was in the beef sector ain't there no more. They're not still standing here no more. You stood the test of time, so you keep hanging in there. And with that being, if you keep hanging in there, you're going to get to where you want to be. I don't doubt that without a shadow of a doubt. But my question is, if it wasn't all about numbers, in a perfect world, if numbers didn't matter, data didn't matter, and YouTube didn't have the control that it has, what would be your topics that you would stick to?
Oh, wow. Politics, especially like, that would be like the topic. Like, if it wasn't for all that, if I had the resource to do what I want to do, I would love to be in the White House and ask questions with all these politicians, anywhere, or mayor or governor, and really ask questions. Like, if I knew, like, say for instance, you came to me and you said, "Hey, Wiley, I'm paying all this stuff for rent," and then I'm in an office, I'm like, okay, but what are y'all going to do for such and such for rent control? I rarely see media talk about real issues that has affected people. I see it every once in a while, but it's not too many of us, because when you black and if you got some sense, you should speak up with what black people are going through. A lot of black folks are going through high rent. And not even just black. That question alone affects everybody, because I know a lot of folks are tired of paying all this in rent. But why is this question not being presented every time that the press secretary come up in the White House? Why
I mean, I think they screen what they're going to ask on camera. I think the questions
they
do
do.
get asked. They're not going to allow it to be asked. But another thing I want to say, and this may ruffle some feathers, but this is something that I believe wholeheartedly. I think, like, we keep talking about us, and I want to say we're not a monolithic. Everybody's an individual, and no one Black person represents a whole class.
That's true.
And I also believe that we got to stop. We can't expect to be accepted and respected, and then we still have a segregated mindset.
Right,
okay,
that's true.
We gotta face the fact that, guess what? We ain't gonna never. We are an integrated world right now. Have an integrated mindset. Because the reality is, if we only stick to ourselves, look, where has that gotten us? Like, insanity is doing the same thing, expecting something different. Get what you can get in the people, because to me, it's not about color. It's not about your zip code. It's about mindset. You connect and you link with people that have your mindset and have your core values and your core beliefs. Because if they look like you, but they think differently and they live by a different code, they're going to screw you. Not because you're Black and they're Black. We live in this world that doesn't exist, that, oh, if I support Black people, it's not about Black. Black is not what we have in common. I'm more than just my color. I have a set of core values and beliefs that I stand on, and I don't care what color you are. If we ain't on the same page, then it don't matter what color you are. I'm not riding with you. Period.
I hear your point.
Because I keep hearing us talk about, oh, we got to do this for the community. We got to do this for the community. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting, and there's nothing wrong with helping people, but you have to help people who, number one, want the help. Because otherwise, you're draining yourself, and you're draining yourself dry.
That's true.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So, and you have to link with people that are willing to support you regardless of the color. This world is not black and white. It is mixed. There is no pure race. We are multicultural. We are integrated, and you got to get what you can get, where you can get it, and who you can get it from. Because holding loyalty to a race or to a one person, it has not helped us. Once in the 60s, once they did that urban redevelopment, it shifted everything. We can't go back there. There is no going back there. So we got to move forward with the time. Period.
Amen to that. And thank you so very much for calling in.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you so very much. Absolutely. She definitely shared that. Jaguar Wright is out of jail. For those that do not know, she was bailed out. If just keep y'all updated on that. I don't think she released a statement yet. If you all can correct me if I'm wrong. She have not released a statement yet. If she did, please let me know. We will talk more about her. Maybe she'll do an interview, if I'm not mistaken. Because I watched the one that she did last night or the night before when she was on the blue couch. Or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Anyway, but I didn't see anything else that she said. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Watching this about Jag. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video, share, subscribe. We're on our way to 30 something. How many more subscribers are we on our way to? Give me a second, child. Let's see. Let's get these subscribers numbers up. We're almost at 35.5 subscribers, so we're less than 5,000 subscribers away from 40,000, and we definitely 500 subscribers away. For 40,000. We love that number, okay? Love you all dearly. To Jaguar Wright, get it together, girl. You get it together. That's all I'm gonna say. Get it together, girl. Get it together. Okay, let's stop playing these games. Get it together. Thank you all for y'all amazing support. If you want to contribute to our show, Cash App, $ Marquise Wiley 28 WileyShow@gmail.com. And if anything else that y'all want me to talk about, especially those that view the show, let me know. Let me double check because I did ask y'all this question. What do y'all want me to talk about? Someone wanted me to talk about this, and I asked the question, so only 2 people brought it up. What about Sean David Way and Tasha K interview? Again, I've always said that Tasha K is a user, but she does well, and she did admit it that she do have a writer to help her in a comedy. Someone also wanted me to talk about this. Armon Wiggins, how the ratings are one of my favorite shows. Foxo have taken a dive since he has been on. Funky views are way better. Number one, I think that I can't judge the viewership like that because, again, I wasn't a big fan of Foxo. But for what y'all are telling me, Foxo, TGIF was getting all these great, gigantic viewership, and Armon is not getting that great, all great, gigantic viewership. One thing I can say is because I don't think he's friends with any of the people that he talk about, other than T.S. Madison. Funky Dineva can insert himself and say, hey, I did coke with Stevie J. I did coke with Mary J. Blige. I was a crackhead. Like, he have all of these stories with these celebrities, so it automatically go viral. Armon don't have that. He's still a baby in this. Maybe in the next, when he turned 43, maybe I have a little bit more. He's still new. He's still a virgin. Not in the bedroom, but he's still a virgin in Hollywood. So you know, that just how it goes. He's still a virgin into that. They said she has a coach that's different. Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I think that's really important to have a coach when you're doing comedy. There's nothing wrong with having writers doing comedy too. There's nothing wrong with having that. Who the best have writers. There's nothing wrong with that. Even Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney even helped Richard Pryor write his material. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I want to make that perfectly clear. Nothing wrong with that. But it also, too, is nothing wrong with having a coach to direct, because even Tiffany Haddish, she went to a comedy camp where they train you up how to do, because it's a certain formula with it. That's why I said I'm not ready to do it, to do that. But yeah, love you all. We're done. Love you all. The sun is going down. Love you. They said Wiley turn on light. I gotta go eat some. I am hungry, child. I haven't eaten nothing all day today. That's not good. I keep eating one meal a day. Every day, one meal a day. Every day. I really do want some Chinese food, like for real. That's what I want, some Chinese food. But I keep eating one meal a day. Child, but this was amazing. Everybody was able to call in to give their thoughts. Thank you all so very much. What I'll be going on, they said, well, eat something and come back. I probably will not come back. I'm gonna let y'all eat up on this video and watch this, unless something else go off on the internet. They said no, that's too fatty. Child, what else you want me to eat? Some rice and some beans? Okay. Little black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. Also, let me see how much time I got on this book. I am now at what? Oh my God. Okay, I'm about to say I'm literally at 2 hours and 43 minutes left, so I gotta listen. I want to get done with this book so we can talk about it. Okay, I will watch that, Mama. I will go and watch that because I want to get into that. I'm about to go grab me something to eat, and we could definitely get into that. Would I go on station? I probably do. Y'all want me to go on station when I'm walking? I guess y'all do. I guess y'all like me to go on station when I'm walking. So we will see y'all there. Love you all. Y'all be good. Bye-bye. And I want to see y'all, little black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first.